I'm really trying to just get better at recording like daily and not just holding on to all my ideas and thoughts and shit. That wasn't how I planned on starting this video off, but whatever. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make hella content hella fast. This is for people who understand the value of content creation. They have a business, they have a brand, a personal brand, whatever it is. They understand what content creation can do for them. They want to create more content, but they feel like they're stuck, or they're at a bottleneck, or they're always trying to play catch up, always trying to create enough content to keep posting and not just post for the day. This is for those people. This is for the people who like want to get ahead, who want to create enough content to not have to worry about it and not be on IG or TikTok, whatever it is, every day. This is for those people. This is kind of like, this is what I call the hack, the framework that most content creators are using. And it's utilizing your time wisely is what it is. Is instead of like trying to create a new video every day or trying to post like sporadically whenever you can, or whenever you think of something, or whenever something comes across your feed that you find interesting or you think is funny, instead of doing that, this is the process you can take. So for anybody that doesn't know, if this is your first time tuning in, whatever it is, I'm Marvell, aka VZ, aka Marketing Guys Marvy, aka I does this shit for real. I like that. That's new, but I like that. I'm gonna use that. Hey, when people be walking up on me, bro, like, what the fuck? I don't know. Okay, so how to create content, how to make it hella easy. Now I'm gonna give you two ways, because there's a way you can do it for free, which takes more time, or there's a way you can pay for it, but that takes money because you have to pay for it. It really just depends on your situation, which situation you're in. But first thing you need to know, first thing you need to do. First thing you need, this is kind of like step 0 before you even get into the process. I guess I don't know, because like in other YouTube videos or like other videos, they be like, content creators make more content and master their marketing or whatever it is they do. That's kind of what I do, but I mean, I feel like that shit's so formulaic. You gotta like, I don't like that shit. I don't know. So I might say that sometimes, but if you're interested, I am a digital marketing strategist. I own a marketing agency. I help content creators, business owners, and brands maximize their content, increase their sales, become more comfortable on camera, and create more content. Yeah, I guess that's what I do. Yeah, like I said, I does this shit. So first thing you're gonna need to do, and this is like step 0, like I said, you need to understand your target audience. You need to understand your niche, and you need to understand what type of content works for you. Those are 3 very big and very important steps that you need to get down before you even like really get started with this. You also need to have a goal. What is your goal for your content? What is your goal for your brand or your business? Because that's going to determine what type of content you should be creating, and which numbers or metrics or KPIs you should be paying attention to. So you need to understand your goals, things you want to accomplish, where you want your brand to be, your business, whatever it is, where you want that to be in 5 to 10 years. And if you're not thinking that far out, you probably should take a minute and like really, if you're not thinking long term about it, you probably really don't understand what like its true potential is. If you set yourself up right, you can be set for the rest of your life, like legit. So it's very important to understand, like to have a goal for your brand, have a goal for your business, understand what you're trying to do and where you're trying to take yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? You need to have a goal. You need to understand who your audience is. You need to know who you're talking to, who is going to consume your content, who consumes your products, whatever it is. You need to understand who that audience is. You need to understand what type of content they are interested in, or what type of content they like to consume. But you also need to understand what type of content you like to create and what works best for you, your time schedule, your skill set. So if you have an audience that really enjoys reading and videos, but you don't feel comfortable on camera, you might want to start off writing, like blogs or Twitter or something like that, just to make sure you're focusing on the right thing, something that you're going to be able to consistently, back to back, week to week, like months and years on end. And that's not to say you can't get more comfortable and like branch out and do other things and go from video or do videos where you don't have to show your face. It's more like voiceover stuff. There's a lot of different options, but understanding who you are, what you're comfortable with, your skill sets, and what you can do consistently will help you when you start creating your content. If you want more information, or if you need me to talk more about those, leave it in the comments, shoot me a message, whatever it is, I'll get it done. But yeah, so after you get all that, after you have all those down, you understand who you're talking to, what kind of content that they like, what kind of content you like, or what kind of content you want to get started with. After you have all that down, your first step is going to be batch creating. And the best way to do this is to block out some time throughout your week. If you only have like an extra 20-30 minutes a day, block out that time just to create content. You want to block out that time, right? And you're going to use that time to create long pieces of content. Or, and this is why I do coaching, this is why I work with people personally, because it's going to be different for every person. But I like to make sure my content can help as many people as possible without being too general. So you're going to batch create. You're going to set aside like an hour to 2 hours out of your week just to create content, right? If you're a writer, you can write a number of blog articles or like a really long, in-depth, detailed article. If you like video, you can create a long-form YouTube video or a long-form podcast. I would say something anywhere from like 15 minutes or more. That's a good place to start. Create a piece of content that's like 15 minutes or more, you'll be set. But if you're not there yet, if you haven't got that yet, and I know that's kind of hard, like if you're doing writing or whatever, but that's why I hate it's hard to give out this general information, because everybody needs specific things. So if you need help with anything specifically, make sure you put it in the comments. I got you. So you're going to either create a long form piece of content, audio podcast, a long video, multiple long form videos, 15, 20, 30 minutes. Just be careful with those. Make sure you research your industry or your niche and see if that type of content even gets consumed. So if you're making long form videos about baking, but nobody else is making long form videos about baking, you can do it, but there might be a reason why nobody's doing it. It might be because that market doesn't watch those type of videos. But if you can innovate it and make it your own and make it something that people will tune into, by all means, do you. But you have to figure out what content works for you and what's going to work best for your audience. So long form video, long form audio, long form text, or another option is you can batch create a lot of short form videos. And the best way to do it, I would say, is to like figure out how much content you need to post for the next 2 weeks, just to start yourself off. For the next 2 weeks, if you're going to post like every day or 2 times a day or however much a day, whatever, however many times a week, how many videos do you need to create? How many tweets do you need to create? How many blogs do you need to write? Like, figure out how much content you need to create so that you're good for the next 2 weeks to a month, just to get started. Once you're really like good at it, once you're really into it, you can like knock out a month, 2 months, 3 months worth of content in like a weekend. But you're going to block out time, and you're just going to turn off all TV, put your phone down, all distractions, and you're just going to create. Okay? From there, that's when it starts to diverge. So I told you I was going to give you the free route and the paid route. Let's start with the free route. Okay? So you're going to take that content, you're going to edit it. If it's a blog, you're going to get it proofread, make sure it's formatted for blog format, because you don't just post like long pieces of like written work. You have to break it up a certain way, add images. I'll add some videos that can link you to proper blogging format, shit like that. Oh, maybe I should write an article about that. That'd be a good idea. But you wanna make sure your blog is formatted right. You wanna make sure it has good information. There's no typos. If you're doing videos, you wanna chop out any fillers, any gaps, anything like that. You wanna make sure it's a cohesive piece of content. Don't nitpick, especially early on in the process. I don't remember who said it, and I gotta start keeping track of like where I get all this information from, because I feel bad not citing people. But they said done is better than perfect, and that's like major key. Put out the content. Don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about it being A+ every time. It's not going to hit every time. A lot of people won't see it, especially in the beginning. Most people won't see it. You'll have time to come back, edit, fix, retool, whatever. But just get in the habit of putting content out. For me, starting to create these videos and starting to record, I wanted to do it a certain way. I wanted to have the whole setup in my room with the lights and nice camera and shit. But it was just holding me back. It was pushing my timeline back. It kept stopping me because I was doing other things, or I would get distracted, or they'd be doing construction and shit like this, and it just kept me from putting out content and being able to help people, and like really even figuring out if what I have is worth value or people really are interested in it. So don't focus too much on it being perfect. Spelling, grammar, shit like that, that's important because people don't play that shit. But as far as like making sure you like have hit all these perfect points, just put the content out. That's the biggest key. That's the biggest thing you can do, is put the content out. But like I said, you're gonna get an editor, you're gonna edit your content. If you're editing your videos yourself, you can use CapCut, you can use Adobe Premiere. I'm gonna put up some like a list of some other free things you can use, or like resources you can use to edit videos. I'll also put some things you can use to edit audio if you're doing a podcast, if you're doing like text, if you're doing tweets, or if you're doing blogs or anything like that. Make sure you use Grammarly. You can also use the Hemingway app. It's a website, Hemingway.com or HemingwayApp.com or something like that. But that lets you know where you have grammatical errors, if you're writing at too high of a level, if you need to bring it down. It's a very useful tool. It's very good. I use that for a lot of my writing. But I'm gonna use those to make sure you get it all edited, get it all looking nice and pretty and shit like that. From there, you're going to turn those into smaller clips, whether that's chopping your video into smaller clips, taking bite-sized information that you think would like. And I say this as somebody who's assuming you are on social media, but you're gonna take out relevant clips, or like impactful clips, important moments where this can stand alone as a piece of information by itself. Kind of like a trailer, kind of like a teaser. If it's a blog, you can take your long blog and turn it into tweets or different posts for Instagram, Facebook. There's a lot of different ways you can remix and repurpose, but you're gonna take those and bust them down into smaller pieces. From there, you're gonna take those smaller pieces and you're gonna schedule them out to be posted. I know TikTok, if you have a business profile, you can schedule your TikToks, I think up to 10 days out. Instagram just released a scheduling feature. I'm not sure if they have a limit on how long out you can schedule, but the best way to do it would probably be the Facebook Business Manager. It's just free to everybody, it's free to use. You can schedule your posts, you can schedule your videos, you can schedule a lot of content in there. And I say this like it's a fast process, but it's gonna take some time. So don't get discouraged. Don't feel like like I said, it's more time intensive. It does take some work, but the more you practice, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, and the faster you'll get at it. Make sure you got captions. Make sure you use relevant keywords, things like that. There's so much shit that goes into this, and it's hard to like kind of dumb it down and make it into like these very simple things when it's not simple. And that's why I don't like coming across like, oh, it's supposed to be super simple. I just try to make it sound as easy as possible, but it does take some work. It does take some grit. That's why I said in the beginning, it's not for everybody. For those of you who have a little capital, who have some money, who can put some funds into the process, there's a number of different ways you can do it. The one thing that you have to do, even if you want to outsource the entire process, you have the money to do it, you have the capital. If you want to outsource the entire process, the one thing you still have to do is create the content. I don't like outsourcing the creative part, because the part that you need to be creative, you need to be knowledgeable about the information, that's the part you don't outsource. You can't outsource the creative part of the process. You have to use your knowledge to create some type of content, something that is going to show your authority, show your experience, show that you know what you're talking about. Whether that's a video or a written article. Actually, see, you don't even have to write the articles. You can hire somebody to write articles for your brand, and then you can just talk about them. There's so many different ways, but I would say you should be a big part of the creative process. Even if you outsource and hire a writer, somebody to write blogs for you or write tweets for you, you should have knowledge about the topic they're talking about. You should give them talking points. You should give them things you want them to discuss. I would say you need to be a part of that process. If you don't want to, if you want to completely outsource that, that's completely fine. But it's not recommended. But once you do the creative part, once you create the video, once you create the podcast, once you write the article, whatever it is, you're going to send that to an editor. You can find them on Upwork, you can find them on Fiverr, but you want to hire a freelancer, hire somebody who specializes in that area. You want to hire somebody who's going to turn it into reels. So once you get the edited stuff back, you can either take that and schedule it yourself with a platform like Later or Hootsuite, which is kind of like Facebook Business Manager, except you have to pay for it. Things like $50 a month. Later, I think it's $20 a month, something like that. You can also use a tool called repurpose.io. That will basically take the video, like let's say you post a video to TikTok, right? You can set it up with repurpose.io to take your video from TikTok and post it to Instagram and post it to YouTube Shorts and post it to Facebook Reels and post it to Pinterest and post it to LinkedIn. You can use that to help distribute your content to all the other channels that you need to. I want to say that's $15 a month or $25 a month, something like that. There's also a tool for Twitter called Hype Fury, which basically allows you to schedule your tweets out in advance. Also gives you prompts, shows you relevant tweets from your industry, and gives you inspiration, stuff like that. Another thing you can do is hire a virtual assistant who will basically handle all these behind the scene processes, get your content edited, get it uploaded, get it scheduled, all that. And I hate this. This is why it's hard for me to do this general content, because I know everybody has different things that they need, like different things that's going to work for them in their business and their brand. So it's hard to just put out general content. I can give you resources, I can give you guidelines. If you need more help, please reach out, DM me, leave it in the comments. I'll try to answer all the questions. And that's why I got to keep doing this more, because I feel like I'm giving too much information, but I want to make sure it's coherent and it makes sense and you understand it. That's why I got to just keep doing this, because I got to get better at it. But I'll probably cut that out. But yeah, so those are the two ways to do it, free and paid. You batch create long form, or create a lot of content all at once. You schedule it out to be posted for the next week, 2 weeks, month, whatever it is. And yeah, and you just rinse and repeat. Check to see what works, see what content performs well, see what your audience is engaging with, what they want more of, and you kind of tweak and shift from there. But yeah, this went way longer than I planned it to. Hopefully once I edit it and chop it down, it'll be a little shorter. But yeah, that's all I got. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm gonna start trying to drop these like every 2 to 3 a week, as much as I can. But yeah, make sure you hit the like, make sure you comment, subscribe, all that. You know, the typical stuff. If you got value from this, if you're still confused, if you need more information, let me know. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.